Did I want to try for 6? So there's a long history of turning big guy interceptions and fumbles and all that stuff into memes. So at the risk of ruining a career play like that for myself, it's time to go home. So the bus was out of gas. We're good. I'm glad I called.
Michael Pierce finally talks about his sudden retirements. He was diagnosed of heart failure and was forced to quit. Please subscribe to our channel as you watch. Michael Pierce's sudden decision to retire may have surprised many, but the Baltimore Ravens organization found a way to leverage the situation to save on salary cap space. The 32-year-old defensive tackle recently confirmed his retirement after 9 seasons in the NFL, 7 of which were spent with the Ravens. In an emotional conversation, Pierce revealed the reason behind his early exit. He was diagnosed with heart failure and, after careful consideration, was forced to step away from the game. Michael Pierce, once regarded as one of the NFL's dominant defensive tackles, made headlines when he suddenly retired, leaving fans, teammates, and sports analysts alike in shock. Known for his strength, drive, and presence on the field, Pierce's early exit raised many questions. No one expected a player in the prime of his career to suddenly walk away from the game, and no one knew why until now. After months of speculation, Pierce has finally shared the truth behind his retirement. In an honest and emotional conversation, the former star player revealed that he had been diagnosed with heart failure, a serious condition that left him with no choice but to step away from football. Here's a closer look at the health struggles that forced Pierce to retire and how he's moving forward in life after football. Throughout his career, Michael Pierce was a picture of health. After being drafted by the Baltimore Ravens in 2016, Pierce quickly gained a reputation as a powerhouse on the defensive line. His blend of power and agility made him a key player, and despite the physical demands of the sport, he remained relatively injury-free. However, during the 2024 offseason, things began to change. Pierce started experiencing extreme fatigue and noticed his stamina deteriorating. At first, he chalked it up to the usual wear and tear from a long season. But when his symptoms continued to worsen, including shortness of breath and lightheadedness, he knew something was wrong. I initially thought it was just the normal off-season fatigue, Pierce says. But it got to a point where I could barely finish a workout without feeling like I was going to collapse. After undergoing a series of tests, Pierce received life-altering news. He had heart failure. The diagnosis, which was a shock to the 28-year-old, explained the symptoms he had been experiencing. I never expected something like this, Pierce admits. You hear about it, but you never think it will be you. Heart failure is a serious condition where the heart struggles to pump blood efficiently, leading to fatigue, shortness of breath, and fluid buildup. Despite its reputation for affecting older individuals, heart failure can strike anyone, including athletes like Pierce. For a professional athlete, receiving a diagnosis like this can be a crushing blow. Pierce had dedicated his life to football, and the idea of walking away from the game was difficult to accept. Yet, after consulting with several medical professionals, it became health and my future first. I needed to be there for my family, and I wanted to have a life after football. The process of stepping away from the game wasn't just physically challenging for Pierce, it was mentally and emotionally taxing as well. Just as he was reaching his peak, with a strong season behind him and more to come, the news of his heart failure and forced retirement left him struggling to come to terms with it. There were definitely moments of anger and confusion, Pierce reflects. It was hard to accept that my body, something I had relied on my whole life, had failed me in this way. But through support from loved ones, coaches, and medical professionals, Pierce began to find peace with his decision. He realized that his worth wasn't defined by football and that there was more to life than the game. I had to remind myself that I'm still Michael Pierce. I'm more than just a football player, he explains. It took time, but I eventually realized I had to let go of that part of my life and focus on the future. Since retiring, Pierce has shifted his focus to his health and is adjusting to life beyond the NFL. Though heart failure is a lifelong condition, Pierce is working with his medical team to manage his symptoms and stay as healthy as possible. I'm feeling much better now, and I'm taking it one step at a time, Pierce says. I've learned to appreciate the small things, being with my family, focusing on my health, and just enjoying life. While Pierce's football career was shorter than he had hoped, he is using his platform to raise awareness about heart failure, particularly among athletes who may not fully understand the risks they face. His story is a reminder that even the strongest players can be vulnerable to health issues. Heart failure isn't something you hear about often, especially with athletes, Pierce admits. But I want to help others understand that taking care of your body goes beyond just training. You need to be aware of your health and get checked out if something feels off. Though he may no longer be playing on Sundays, Michael Pierce's impact on the NFL is lasting. His decision to retire for the sake of his health speaks volumes about his character, and his message is a valuable one to everyone, both inside and outside of sports. Life is fragile, and sometimes the toughest decisions are the ones that ensure a better future. As Pierce looks ahead to the next chapter of his life, he remains grateful for his experiences on the field, but determined to live a full and healthy life away from the game. His legacy as a player will always be remembered, but his decision to prioritize his well-being will continue to inspire others for years to come. Michael Pierce, a defensive tackle in the NFL, has encountered various health issues throughout his career, with a major heart-related condition ultimately leading to his unexpected retirement. In 2024, Pierce was diagnosed with heart failure, a diagnosis that prompted him to retire early. Although he had been in top physical form as an athlete, Pierce began to experience symptoms like extreme fatigue, shortness of breath, and dizziness. Initially, he thought these were just the typical signs of off-season recovery. However, after undergoing tests, doctors confirmed that he had heart failure, a condition in which the heart struggles to pump blood efficiently, causing various health problems. This diagnosis forced Pierce to step away from the game, despite being in the prime of his career. Medical professionals advised that continuing to play football could worsen his condition and pose a serious health risk. As a result, Pierce made the difficult decision to retire and has since focused on managing his health with the help of medical experts. While Pierce experienced minor injuries and health setbacks,